First, let me thank you for your patience. I know we were supposed to start about an hour ago, and voting and other things came in the way, so thank you for bearing with us and waiting, because we really do want to hear your testimony. I'll start with an opening statement, and then we'll recognize the ranking member and then the chairman of the full committee who's with us here today. The hearing today is entitled Building Prosperity, EDA's Role in Economic Development and Recovery. I want to extend a warm welcome to our ranking member, even though he was a little late, Mr. Meadows, and the new members of the subcommittee. I'm very optimistic about working with Ranking Member Meadows and the members on both sides of the aisle on the many issues that we have before this subcommittee. Additionally, I want to acknowledge Dr. John Fleming, Assistant Secretary of Commerce for Economic Development. Dr. Fleming, congratulations on your recent confirmation, and welcome to the EDA and back to the House. I'm glad to have you on board, and we're looking forward to working with you. Today's hearing will take a closer look into kind of a little-known and under-recognized and appreciated federal agency that delivers one of the greatest returns on investment to the American taxpayer, and that's the Economic Development Administration. Our witnesses today are going to highlight some local examples of how EDA's grant programs have facilitated large-scale economic revitalization and transition in communities that have been in distress. Further, we'll explore EDA's important role in disaster recovery and look ahead to how EDA can respond to emerging technological changes in our country's workforce. Created in 1965 by the Public Works and Economic Development Act, the EDA has for the last 54 years been the only federal agency specifically dedicated to local and regional economic development. It serves as a clearinghouse for economic development in the federal government and plays a critical role in coordinating federal economic development programs. With a wide variety of grant programs, including planning, public works, trade assistance, economic adjustment and innovation, EDA provides needed funding to economically distressed communities to strengthen their local business environment, ensure job creation, and fuel sustainable economic growth. In both its application process and the annual reports to Congress, EDA prioritizes job retention and creation, as well as private sector leveraging to ensure the greatest return on investment to the American taxpayer. Despite a comparatively small $300 million annual budget, EDA has helped create and retain more than 275,000 private sector jobs and attracted more than $39 billion in private investment in the last 6 years alone. I want to repeat that. A $300 million investment has resulted in $39 billion from the private sector. These grants, which are awarded only to communities facing significant economic distress, are a lifeline, and they oftentimes are the only source of economic development funding that's available. EDA grants provide additional capacity, technical and strategic expertise, and targeted infrastructure investments that are guaranteed to preserve or attract new jobs. EDA has been front and center in responding to massive economic changes brought on by industry failure, trade competition, and persistent unemployment. With funds specifically dedicated to help coal communities, for example, transition their economies, EDA has helped to bring new hope to communities devastated by the loss of mines that's provided generations of residents with stable and well-paying jobs that are no longer there. Through its Trade Adjustment Assistance for Firms program, EDA works with U.S. manufacturing, production, and service firms to help modernize work practices or business models to stay competitive in global markets. Public works grants help communities make targeted infrastructure investments like sewer or water access, rail spurs, and roadways to prepare sites for new industry or expanded industry operations. In addition to its foundational economic development mission, EDA also plays an integral role in helping communities recover from disasters. Fires, floods, hurricanes, and winter storms are enormously disruptive events that continue to have an impact well after the storm has passed and the debris has been cleared. Congress, realizing the EDA's record of success in spurring revitalization and Economic Recovery has routinely provided sizable appropriations to EDA for disaster recovery. Most recently, Congress appropriated $600 million in disaster recovery funding in the 2018 Disaster Supplemental to respond to Hurricanes Harvey, Irma, and Maria, as well as for wildfires and other disasters in 2017. These resources provide some of the only critical economic development disaster funding that's available. After the first responders have left, EDA is still there. So if you look at their website, you can see countless stories about EDA's success. Every disaster is different, but they are there to bring prosperity and recovery to communities hardest hit. Their disaster role is central to their new mission that's continually being challenged. I hope after today's hearing you will all agree with me in seeing the vitality and importance of the EDA as it promotes our country's efforts to have prosperity. I intend to advance an EDA reauthorization bill, and I hope that you will help me into doing that in a way that will make the program work even better. So I look forward to the discussion, and I would now recognize the ranking member, Mr. Meadows.